Are you aware of the Lancet group report? It's a medical magazine, British medical magazine, that estimated the deaths as a result of the war in Gaza to be 186,000. And of course, it's taken into account, the expert took into account indirect deaths, that have happened thus far and may happen as a result of the war, including disease and other things and starvation.
So
Are you aware of that?
I have seen the report, and I will just say whatever the number of civilians that have actually died as a result of this conflict, we know that it's far too many.
Yeah.
And far too many civilians have been needlessly killed as a result of this conflict. And that is why we are working so hard, including negotiations that are going on this week, to try to reach a ceasefire that would alleviate the suffering in Gaza, that would bring home the hostages that continue to be held, and ultimately put us on a path to hopefully ending the war.
So are you concerned that, the figures could be far more staggering than what we've seen published by, let's say, the Ministry of Health in Gaza? I mean, I remember early on, the Assistant Secretary of State, Barbara Lee, told one of the committees on Capitol Hill that the deaths may actually be more than what the ministry, the health ministry, Hamas is saying.
Sure. The death toll could very well be more. We know there are potentially people who are under rubble who have not been counted. But it goes to the point I was making. Whatever the number is, the reported number already is far too high. The reported number already is unacceptable. The number of civilian deaths. So, of course, something higher than that would just be further tragedy. But we long ago passed the stage where this has been a horrific human tragedy for some time.
You're smirking.
Go ahead with another question.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'm not even going to entertain that. I'm not even going to entertain that. Saeed, go ahead with another question.
Thank you.
It's ridiculous.
I wanted to ask you about the status of the talks. I know yesterday you said, and Kirby at the White House, your colleague at the White House, said that that you are a bit optimistic, although there are gaps. Are we any closer today? Do you have any assessment as where we are today, and so on? And of course, Hamas is saying that the latest Israeli attack actually may jeopardize ceasefire talks.
So, as I said yesterday, neither want to negotiate in public, nor do I kind of want to offer ongoing daily assessments of where the talks stand. As we said last week, when we got the proposal back from Hamas, we saw room for progress and room for hope that we could reach a ceasefire, and we continue to work hard to pursue a ceasefire because of, as I said, the immense ongoing suffering in Gaza that we want to alleviate, which we know a ceasefire is the best path to accomplishing.
And my last question now, the Israeli Prime Minister is expected to come to the city in 2 weeks and so on. Is it your assessment that he actually would come and speak before Congress if a deal has not been arrived to? What is your assessment of his visit? And will he, let's say, be received at the State Department?
I don't have any independent assessment to offer of whether he'll come or not. All I can tell you is Congress has invited him and he has accepted the invitation. I have no reason to think that he won't come. As to any meetings with the executive branch, I don't have anything to announce today. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Any update on the negotiations with the Hezbollah also?
No, I spoke to this some yesterday. It remains our assessment that the best way to reach calm in the north is to get a ceasefire in Gaza. It's not to say it's the only way. We continue to pursue diplomacy to resolve the conflict in northern Israel and southern Lebanon and to try to de-escalate the conflict and keep tensions from rising further. But that remains a very tough goal as long as the conflict in Gaza continues to wage. And so we do, and you heard the president say this when he outlined the ceasefire proposal several weeks ago, that we believe then and we continue to believe that the best way to find a path to calm in the north is to first achieve a ceasefire in Gaza. Yeah.
In the region.
Yeah.
It's been over a month since the U.S. it's been over a month since the